It's our final match of today, but it'll be our 6th game overall out of 48 here for the PUBG Europe contenders. And it certainly has not been easy for some of our teams. Even some of our key name teams in there. Zen, this is probably one of the better games they've had.
Yeah.
Yes, it's an opening start. Se7en at the moment still struggling to find that dynamic that we loved to talk about. Yes, they were aggressive, but they were still able to get placement points, even if it was just one player kind of proning his way to success. So far, not really seen too much from them, mate.
They have gotten their drop spots. They have not really been considered. I mean, actually, on the Wrangle, they didn't. Got to keep that in mind too. That Zoekt Een Naam got Pachinki to themselves. But here, they've lost the owners many times before. They got to do it again. And as you said, James, they have not been able to find their way into some of these circles. Of course, the first game was rough for everyone trying to make their way in, but even more so for Se7en. It's just because we've seen them on the top before. I mean, we're talking about a team here that got second place up against PEL teams as well in that kickoff cup, and they just have not seemed to get back on the same going that we saw in the end of the first phase.
Now, it's only week 5, right? But just since the resets come in, Moon has now overtaken Occo, and he's got 13 kills in total after that solid hold from him to do well for Winside here.
Impressive.
Now, no tag team today, honestly, yes, they only sat in 9th overall, but today's not been bad for them. They seem to enjoy the Miramar play, but they can be very aggressive with it. Even when they're going out in like 8th, 10th place, they're still getting a fair few kills with it.
It's kind of interesting, too, that no tag, they're looting this eastern side of La Bandida and all these areas here. And then Impala, you're kind of forcing Besiktas to stick to where they are because you have a team down south, you have them sitting on the west side, and Besiktas is normally one of those teams that like to split out a bit more when they're looting that area of the map. Like we see in PL, we see Ends as well. They got that, well, they have had that eastern control of La Bandida, and there's a lot of split looting. And with these teams being around them, Impala is kind of, well, it's a really small city. You don't really want to force 4 players to loot in there. Circle though, going somewhat south, somewhat east. We've seen it many times before. Everyone can get to it, but it's all about where that next one shifts.
Beautiful car. Near Moonwolf, we can see Occo running around. Everyone's getting themselves looted up as per usual. The early start here. And for Moonwolf, the rotation's not going to be needed very fast here. Question is, who will run into them or meet up with them first and want to take this fight? Because realistically, they can pretty much stay where they are.
Yeah, the question is whether they want to hang out and pick Carter, though, because we know that there are mountains on all sides of it, and having to leave can be extremely tricky. But I agree. I mean, position-wise, we've seen. I mean, in all fairness, we've seen a lot of games going that direction. So why not have that slimmer of hope that maybe you can just chill out for a little while longer and then have the end game come there too.
Now, Se7en this time around, going to be down south, just outside of Los Leones, but they've got Northern Lights near. And what I'm interested is there's no other teams that will come sneak up behind them unless they do a far rotation down south and come in, which is certainly a possibility. But how do they deal with this? Because I need to see more of this old-style Se7en come out. And I say old-style, it was only a few weeks ago we saw it. This is the scary thing.
It's as if they started off kind of like we see right now, taking some fights and rotations early that didn't really give them a whole lot. And then they clicked. I mean, maybe it was just because of the group they were in at the time. We have talked about how a lot of teams are embracing the same playstyle, right? But maybe it was just them really, really finding a moment of, I mean, a long moment. It was 2-3 weeks of being in a group where they just understood everything. They had like the long stick in all those fights they came out fighting. And well, we'll need to find that here again, but we've got to keep in mind, I mean, even in that first phase, they didn't come off strong. In the beginning, it took them a couple of games, took them even a week or so to really get into a groove. And I'm just going to say that even though we have a strong team here, what they delivered then, if they can do that against these guys, I would be scared no matter who I am going up against them.
And that's why a team like Moonwolf, right, that we continue to talk about, is such a refreshing way of approaching it, because they're not scared of anyone. They're playing their game, they're playing the way they want to play. But they do have a lot of these individuals that can step up and make the magic happen, so to speak.
And that's always amazing to have, especially in this. I mean, you got to keep in mind, it's not a sprint. It's a 48-game marathon, and believe me, things will change. We can look at teams now off of the first 2 days and say this is how they play, this is what they do, and then skip forward to 48th game and then say, oh my God, this is not at all the same team anymore. Maybe for the better, maybe for the worse. We won't know. The only thing we do know is Perfectix has been knocked.
Perfectis could be going down. More nades getting closer towards him. Givit's going to come around the side and
doink.
Waits for it to go out. Does happen. He's just being very cautious, and rightly so. There could be more Northern Lights players around him, and They want to make sure that they've got all this clear. But Aros, he's slightly further away from his team here. And Besiktas are just in front of him. This is not a team he's going to want to engage with. Obviously, he doesn't know which team it is, but he knows he's heavily outnumbered, so it's just not worth it right now.
And you see the way Besiktas are clearing this. We complimented them many times before in how they go about their 4v4 engagements, the way they play style they're using works out for them. And you can see the way they run in here. 3 guys pretty much on top of each other, sprinting around the corners and not taking anything for given. 7 here. Nates or disengage? What do we see? Disengage, okay.
Smart.
Yep.
I like that.
Yep.
Gamerlegion rock on up. They're 7 team, they see it, they're well aware of it. They know also that Northern Lights are nearby. It's just not worth it for them. The third party is too strong potentially.
Does Polodero right now know that Fake is sitting right underneath him? I don't think he does. And they're within like 30 meters of one another. At least right now. He heard the bike come up, Fake. I think that's what forced him down into crouch mode. Polodero, he's all by himself. Larita's coming in the open. That could be maybe her spotting out with Fake in the hills. Oh, he heard something.
The noise has been made. Poloderek's been knocked down. More shots coming out towards Faku. He isn't turning around and looking at where the shots are coming from. He's just getting the hell out of there, but that's an easy opening kill for Desperado to take.
Doesn't matter who's shooting at you, just gonna get
like,
away
no,
from those bullets.
Don't hit me.
Yep. And that's the thing, right? Especially in a lobby of this caliber, you just gotta take for granted that every single time you hear a bullet coming your way, that could be a headshot hitting like a half second from now. So you just gotta every single fight you go about. I mean, that's what I've said in the very start of it. I think every team here can get a win throughout these 48 games, and I'm pretty sure, if not everyone, then pretty close to it will, because all teams can beat all teams in this group on a good day. I mean, it's insane to see this level of play.
Jupiter now going to be taking a few shots towards Desperado. Desperado are going to end up fighting no matter where they go from this, because they are dead center, which means everyone else is getting closer to them and saying, oh, hi guys, welcome to the party.
Well, they've taken a position from which they can get a lot of info without having a lot of cover. And, well, I mean, I guess they knew that coming into it. So they better keep their wits about them and not let anyone come close the same way that Fake was allowed to push up that hillside. Because that's really going to be your kind of thorn in the heel.
Yeah.
Right, when you try to play long-range positions, but you know there's someone close, that limits you in what you can, like how much info you can get. And this is the Avangar I like. Hello, Avangar, embracing the blue and still looting. Max was like,
they love it.
We've done this before. We're not in a hurry, okay? We'll get there eventually. Now, if the circle does hard shift south and keep doing so, that's, of course, going to put some sort of pressure on them. But for now, not in a hurry. And we keep talking Avangar 4AK embracing the same style of play on Miramar. Well, there's a reason they're both just making their way into the blue now, into the circle now. I mean, that is pretty fun to see. Everyone, though, sitting as center as they, well, I mean, as they possibly could. The terrain taken into account. And that's going to mean that should this next circle hard shift on either side, the ones who are center now will have a tough time rotating out, because there's going to be teams all around them. Has Arrows been spotted yet, or is he still sneaking around? I don't think he has. He's
He's playing James Bond over here. Oh, can he get it though? 13 health. He's pushed back. Besiktas under pressure unexpectedly. Tommy will just about survive, but Aros knows him staying alive is more important at this point. The nades come out, but Aros has already moved away. And that was scary. That finish off nearly came in. Toby's eyes nearly popped out of his head.
That was interesting. Also the fact that he went for the flush immediately, not trying to saying, oh, maybe there's more than one guy right here.
Yeah.
That was a close
not that he heard
call. It. Yeah, not a close call. Now a new circle though. Edge or center? Edge. And a northern one to it as well. Look at how much room there is up there now, and teams will know it. If you're Besiktas, you gotta go around the edge. They gotta take out Arrows first though. He's really being an annoyance to them right now, because he's denying those rotations coming in. You can see how much they want to get it over with.
God, he's like, there is only so much cover I can have.
There you go.
Simsy lands the headshot, Aros goes down, and no tag team lose a member.
In all honesty, though, this is the 10-15 seconds that bought them. Look at how much these teams are rotating now.
The pan, the disrespect. And you see that? They rolled up on him with the car and just beep, 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 beep. Yeah, you learn and suffer today.
And this might just be one thing, but they could have been up there fighting for positions right now, and all of a sudden they haven't even started their rotation yet. This is a tough break for them, and understandable BM coming in because they were in a hurry and they didn't get what they wanted there.
If you're Avangar as well right now, you're thinking, how cautious do we need to be? Jupsig. Never. Shots coming in. Jupsig's done a lot of damage. He finds the knock onto Nail-Up, looking to apply some more pressure. He's got the car as some additional cover, but it could be blown up, and he's still doing it. Jupsig onto Yannick. That's 2 knock players, but the nade goes out, and he goes down. A good effort, but Jupsig, he bit off far more than he could chew.
Nemeth jumped there, and that must just have been him taking for granted that was a teammate. Because I thought he was going to shoot at him immediately, but he just kept running. Wow.
The element of surprise. No tag teams, 2 players that are on their own.
Sneaky peeky.
Are playing this dangerous game of what can we do?
That was interesting to say the least. We need home. They're trying to throw off Quickmath and all of this. They do have 1 player in there. They have Misa and one of the teams of PEL, I believe, on the eastern side, providing some cover. But 2-0 down here is not exactly the best position. Ooh, and both Peltition and Silencio go down, and that's 2 different fights happening.
There's these random individual fights going down now, and it's starting to kick some of these teams in the teeth.
It's the splits from earlier. Everybody knew that everyone was south, so they say that means we can split on the north side. Nope, it's not that easy to do, because you're still going to be visible to a whole lot of other teams than what you think you're engaging with.
Oko's in a good position for vision. You can see extra shots being taken here towards Zen. That's coming out from Alea and Tornado. But Oko can just watch this and hear it all go down before he wants to strike. He's got his teammates behind him coming into it, but they are on the far south.
7, they're making their rotation in through where we saw Besiktas earlier. Northern Lights now in an engagement with Besiktas coming to talk with the team, and Deep gets himself a little nade thrown over towards Simsi. Makes it a little much harder. That much harder because they're the ones engaging and they already lost a player.
Lux now under pressure as well. Damage comes out towards him. The Deep's landed a few shots. There is only so much cover he has. 1 nade and it's game over, and those nades come out. Lux can't stand up in time. The car blows up with it, and Besiktas lose 2.
Yeah, that's going to be tough. They're down to just Ultra remaining now. Really tough break for them, running from 1 engagement into another way earlier than what they would have wanted to do. Ultra has to sneak his way on in now, try and see if he can stay alive.
I love this from 7. They've driven past all this from Northern Lights and Besiktas, like you said, and they've had an easier route in now because of it. It was the option to third party or just push forward and get a central spot, and they will certainly be able to grab that central spot, but will it benefit them as this next circle is just about to pop, and we go central 7. This has worked out massively for them. Avangar don't have far to go either.
We have had a circle like this once before. I mean, this offers such a big diversity in terrain fights to come. If you go up north, it's going to be Quickmath, it's going to be out in the open. If you go center towards, well, either Graveyard or Minas, it's going to be extremely hard to play around because it's considered a city-type area, but there's so much, like, the level of terrain is so hard to play around. And Vasco now, T-Bone as well, they find themselves Akko, of all players, and he finally starts shooting.
He waited all that time and played it to perfection. He's got his teammates with him now, and he was looking to engage. They're trying to get into this circle and clean out Zen with him.
He is just delivering on his own time and time again. Now Edgecast is there to help. Oh, he gets spotted out and he gets headshotted too. Edgecast, you need to help him out. You need to help him out right now.
Edgecast is just running down. He should have been able to spot out Page there. Light nade's going to come in. Oko, will he be able to get himself up? No, he won't. He'll find himself knocked down. But it's up to his teammates to keep him alive and going. Another nade goes in, and Oko is going to struggle with this one.
Yeah, it's going to be extremely hard. The instant flushes are coming in. Washout. Taking down as well. That's Tornado Energy from afar, applying the pressure. And all of a sudden, it's just Edgecast up and alive. But Page has disengaged on it, so maybe, if you're real lucky, there could be a double rest coming in. But as I say, that we see Ival in the distance, and that should be the finish-offs coming in.
Ival tapping away. Moon will find themselves getting eliminated with a little bit of help from Tornado coming in. And their attempt to push Zen around did not work out. But now Zen still have to deal with Tornado just on the other side.
And this is the thing, because even though we still have 15 teams alive and 49 players, the damage has been done to so many different teams. And if you're a team with 4 guys alive that maybe haven't really even fired your first bullet yet, to not have engagements before now, when you're 4 guys up, helmets and vests are all perfectly conditioned, and you have plenty of utility to work with. It just makes it so hard for you to do anything. 7, they committed to Minas. Interesting decision there, but it works out for them. At least for now, they got themselves a knock, and they're pushing on it too.
They're hungry for some kills. They're hungry to jump up in those placements. It's not been a pretty 2 days for these guys.
have been on the short end of the stick, that's for sure. Now Edelweiss, Nate thrown forward. He knows where the Nick. Knock came in. Nate thrown, but no damage done.
Nemerif was pushing into it, then moved away quite successfully. Edelweiss want to go and push further as Kramik throws out another nade. So we'll keep them at bay from pushing on this position. Frank in the background, he's got his bolt ready to do the damage.
Push coming in now towards Nailab. He has to hold this angle and it's not going to be easy. As Nate's available, could potentially throw one forward, see what's going to happen with it, but commits to getting that flank instead.
Quick decision making being placed here from both teams on how they want to approach into this, and no one seems fully confident. The new circle pops and it keeps both of them just inside of it, but Avangar now will have to push in and could potentially be pushing through them.
Yeah, this is opting for one hell of an open ending. It's going to be real hard. We've got so many teams that are on the edges and really without a chance to make a push on forward. And Se7en, they have to really refigure if they want to even commit to this fight at this point, because there's no way they will get to stay there for much longer, and they're all disengaging. I like the call. They see the circle, they say, you know what, not going to be worth it. Let's just get the hell out of here.
This benefits none of us, and they don't want to deal with it. They don't want to get involved and fight this out. Question is now, though, how do they? Yeah, how do you position yourselves in a better place than this?
Yeah, looking at the map, and you guys can see most of the map here as well on your screens represented. It's a huge open field with a few compounds here and there, and a big downhill run towards safety. Seems like Se7en, they're full on committed to going down south, but Northern Lights are already down there. Frank pushed on forward, but it's not going to be easy. Avangar as well, they're making that run down along the side here, trying to go all the way around Minas, but they'll leave themselves exposed to the west at some point.
For AK under pressure, that smoke kind of providing so much cover. Nixies able to deliver some cover fire, trying to chime away at him. Quickmath getting involved though, starting to be active a little bit earlier than what we normally see from these guys.
I mean, they are miles outside of the circle, so they kind of need to. Tuho has not left this rock yet. He's been here for the longest of time. Pelton's now gone down once again. You can see Tuho here is trying to do damage, but he's already faced 4 on the blues on his back. Now it's not going to be an easy escape, if even possible.
Just about get that first fade off and then have to push up. He's being kept at bay though by Rip. And this is just going to be the wasted time, because no matter who comes out of this alive, there are plenty of other teams waiting for him. Tornado, Riddle, and Avangar all on the edges.
They're just fighting for the kill points at this point. Neither team will be able to make it in towards the circle. Riddle now starting to shoot in towards them as well. It's going to be Reader down. Will be finished off in a moment as well, and you can see it here. Tuho as well, just trying to do damage. They want to do anything they can to get some points with them before they inevitably do go out.
4 AK will be out of it in the 15th place. Not been a great day for them. They are a team that's been able to deliver for us previously, though. They started off strong in their group, but as we say, things get tougher, and, well, you need to step it up. Be able to match this level of these teams, right?
Not easy whatsoever. Max is all getting knocked. He should be able to get back up on his feet, but as you can see here, Avangar, they have a tough rotation ahead of them. How the universe do play this one with multiple? You can see this entire side of the hill they have to run through. They will have to make the committed fight, or the committed push down towards Riddle inside of Graveyard, or make their run back on the northern side.
And what did I say? It doesn't benefit anyone. We need a home now, go out in 14th, because you just stuck around for far too long there.
Yeah, Mies is still alive, but probably just sitting and bandaging or first aiding whatever's available.
Hoping.
Miles out in the blue. That's going to be Quickmath out in just a second, I would assume. Now he's shooting like a madman. That's normally the call that I have nothing left to live for. At least they knew I was here. And then he died.
Run into my bullets.
Yeah, something like that. Once the circle connects, it's going to be practically impossible for him to do anything from out there. And then another 4 teams would have to get eliminated for him to even get inside placement points. So most likely, it's a dead story for Quickmath, at least this game around. And Quickmath, not Quickmath, Gamerlegion, sitting well in it. That is indeed going to be Quickmath out.
So that's already Moonwolf 4 AK. We need a home, and Quickmath eliminated. Avangar starting to push now further into it. This new circle is benefited Gamerlegion quite well here. The kings of second places. They did finally get a win, but it was quite awkward to the end. It was actually Miramar where we saw more success for Gamerlegion.
Indeed. We see Avangar here trying to make the push on him. We said that either you push down to Riddle or you go all the way north around. They committed to Riddle. Got themselves the first knock, but there's still more to come.
Dino wants to try and get this res on in. Grouping up with his teammates, but they know this push is going to be very difficult, so maybe they just allow him to go out. Avangar starting to get closer to him as Se7en taking these fights against PG18, and finally we're seeing frags go the way of Se7en rather than seeing their players get knocked down. Page on the edge here, but just as I say it, Se7en go out and it's Northern Lights doing it.
Desperado and Zoekt Een Naam now fighting off one another. Middle Calvin spots up Cage, has the angle on towards him. The damage enough is being applied. He will go down, and Zoekt Een Naam down just to one player now, I believe. Yep, Ival all by himself. Besiktas still one guy up, and this fight is not ending either anytime soon. Avangar, Riddle still fighting off one another. Clip now the only guy alive, and he's gonna go down. Avangar played that one to perfection.
Avangar running around all the sides, keeping themselves nicely in control of that fight, taking it straight to Riddle. They won't be able to bring Asverin up though. That leaves only Tok and Maxazor alive. The circle damage would be far too high, and they need to get themselves inside of it in the first place.
3 compounds still in the circle, but nobody in positions to really contest them whatsoever. Calvin trying to hold the angle here. Fake is being naded pretty insanely over towards him, but Calvin up close needs to do a lot of damage.
Does land the headshot. Example's going to have the first aid it up. Calvin Klein holding on, but it's 1-for-1 trades coming out. So Zara instantly were able with the finish off onto Aaliyah. And Tornado now, they need to deal with this pressure. They need to push into it. It's right on the edge of the circle, but they're trying to get their job done as Avangar are going to delay some long-range games and come into this and really upset some of the players.
Yeah, you can see this push from either of these teams is not going to be easy. Naileup gets taken down. That's Gamerlegion standing strong from the positions they had. They've had the compound, they've had the center of the circle for a while now. That is going to be Tornado Energy out as well, and not until now have we made our way into placement points.
8 teams remain, 2 of them with 1 player left alive each. No tag team, only with 2 players up. And PGA team won't have the greatest of days overall. Still 2 huge games, a first and a second, but an early exit here in 10th on the 3rd and final game of the day. This circle stays a bit more towards the northwest.
Yeah, I don't think Gamerlegion are complaining about this
No.
at all.
They're like, oh, this is a nice compound. Oh,
Yeah.
it's very central on us. Oh, there's no one else nearby either. This is great.
The only thing is they kind of need to keep their wits about them, right? Because it's one of those compounds again where if you let one other team come in, that's gonna be
Oi! That's how
Bada
you
bing,
get it
bada
done.
boom. That's a double kill and elimination on Winside.
Asverin's going to be oh so happy with that. Snuck up, threw the nade in, and said goodbye, good night. But he is going to take some shots now from Fex, and Gamerlegion will try to do the damage onto him. That's crazy that Asverin stayed alive. Wait a second.
Yeah, they're all alive. Except for...
I thought Asverin was going to die out to the zone on the previous one, so they must have just been able to get it. That's huge.
They played it smart too. They shot up there to deny the audio cue that the nade was being cooked. And got the win over. You can see right there, this is what happens when you hear a nade cooked. It's like, no, and they immediately start running. But because they kept shooting at the shack that the Winside players were in, they couldn't hear anything. And that sound of the click got obscured by all the bullets hitting the wood.
Quizzy. Been a very impactful player here for this Northern Lights roster. One to keep an eye out on as these no tag team players are close by. Start to spend some utility out towards Northern Lights players, so the positions are known, but it's when will they engage, because both of them right on the very edge down in the south.
The only thing they can hope for at this point, honestly, is that Gamerlegion's compound gets shifted away from. Because, I mean, what's worse? Having everyone in the open, or everyone but one team in the open. Might as well just take it to him up close and hope that you can go for that open field fight. Desperado, they've been spotted on the hillsides, of course. They'll get to sit around for a little while longer until at least we see that next circle pop. And then from there, I mean, honestly, where do they go? They have a high ground position, sure, great view. But as you can see here, at what cost does that view come? Everybody will spot them once they go to the top.
Just an interesting fact as we watch Zen get eliminated. When we look at Northern Lights, right, who are still in it with 3 players left alive, we speak about Quizzy so much, but it's the Deep and it's OK Bro who have got 11 kills each so far throughout this stage, in particular on this final stage.
They've been stepping up and doing extremely well. That is for sure. They both got themselves 2 kills each in that game where they had nothing left pretty much on Miramar in the first game. So impressive feat from them. And now Desperados and the guys in Avangar. Well, I mean, the circle's only getting smaller and they're only getting forced closer to one another. But still, they're trying to postpone this fight for as long as they can.
It's the waiting game as
wow.
more nades coming in here. No tag team finally do go down. They were very close to Northern Lights, but it's how Desperados can they deal with Avangar, who are starting to aggressively push them and take this full control on the west.
Good throw from Northern Lights. Their circle forces them out as expected into the open end. Gamerlegion, I'm kind of curious as to see how many kills they have. I don't think they have more than a couple. But of course, we talk about it all the time, how when you have that center position, rarely you're in a spot to really take a lot of engagements. Unless if you get crashed on. Actually, this position is really good. From Quizzy, they can sit here for the longest of time.
Avangar. How are they going to try and play this? They're still technically inside the circle, but if they overextend too much, downhill is just Gamerlegion waiting for them. They've got Desperado shooting at them already, down from the southwest. Top needs to hit those kind of shots, does manage to damage Fate just a little bit. The nade comes out, Maxwell's able to get the job done. And Fate, he won't be staying alive anytime soon. That's 10 kills up on Avangar, and they have come alive in this game, but they are not done with Desperado just yet.
That's a good turnaround for the CIS team. Really, really good performance coming out here in that final game.
Coldamento and Tozera, they've split themselves up a tiny bit. It's not huge distance, but it is enough to separate them quite massively as the headshots instantly inactive. He was ready for it.
Wow. He saw the head and immediately put his side over on it, and that's going to be the second one down. To inactive gets the finish off onto one. Maxisor is there for the second, and now they know for a fact that they have this hilltop to themselves. It's just going to come down to how they play around it, because as soon as they're up and where inactive is here, and you have Northern Lights focusing on them, you can see he's getting shot at immediately. And if you're Gamerlegion, you gotta keep your wits about you in the sense that there's a team sitting up there above.
This is the thing, these fights going on, it's at some distance, but Gamerlegion can just watch it all go down. The Deep's gonna find himself knocked by Tok.
It's a 2v1 affair in the aspect that Gamerlegion, they're kind of trying to stay allied with Avangar for a little while longer until Northern Lights are eliminated, then they can take that inevitable fight. But of course, 20 seconds to go, and this circle could go southeast, and then it's going to be Northern Lights who can chill for the longest of time. So honestly, if you're Northern Lights right now, maybe just don't go that aggro. Sure, you want to get some kills in the open, but I mean, if you get knocked too much here, that could be you not getting into the finals up too. Got to give it to them though. Wins yesterday, and 10-kill game here as well.
Waiting, waiting, waiting. The circle goes up, back up the north towards Gamerlegion. McCann pushing on the side there. Inactive find themselves getting knocked down by OK Bro, and there is not much cover for him. Luckily, OK Bro's fluffing a few shots here, which might be able to keep him alive, but Tok needs to react very fast here and get this reviving.
30 seconds until that circle's going to start closing, and if you're Northern Lights, maybe don't concern yourself so much about shooting the guys on the hilltop. Maybe just try and figure out how in the universe you get inside the circle. Do you have a vehicle? Can you crash that compound? What do you have available? Because if you stick around here for too much longer, the blue will come and it will take you out.
Three very deadly teams. Gamerlegion with the numbers advantage. 4 players in it. They haven't been able to get too active. They've been sat in this for the longest time. They're allowing Avangar and Northern Lights to fight it off, and they're still trading out players, but neither of these teams are in the circle. Northern Lights are a lot closer. And that circle, it's going to start to come in.
So they know exactly where all the last players are. They're trying to go for the rest here. Scary considering the circle's already closing. They will be able to get it up though. And the Deep got the finishers off on towards Tok 2. So that's going to be Avangar down to just 2 players now. But how do they push it? How do they play it? We heard a bike being rolled up just before. What do they do with it? Okay, bro, gone down. There's no way they're getting the rest up towards him.
Yeah, that's going to be pushing far too fast. And phase 8 damage is no joke. Quizzy rushing out on the bike. Hamster well aware of what's going on.
He's inside the circle now, Quizzy. The only thing is that because OK Bro was committed to getting rest there, that's going to mean Quizzy's on his own. And technically, look at this position. It is very playable. But his teammate has to run in the open now.
Ooh, he's missing a few key shots though. Finally lands it onto Bjorn, but he's already been able to get himself undercover and hidden away. Maxisor, the solo Avangar player, is just chilling. He is waiting and he does not want to be seen. He is just hoping that he can stay alive and get into that second place. They've got 12 kills already, Avangar, so anything from here is just a huge addition to their current points.
I've said these things before, and I don't want to throw them back into it like the second place curse, but Gamerlegion needs to win this game. They will be able to stick around for the longest. I think Northern Lights, if they haven't used all their smokes at this point, and they probably have in a second, and they can play it from this compound for such a long time with all these other players running around in the open. They need to play this one so smart to get the win.
Well, Max is all spraying out, but he's just going to allow himself to go down. He does get picked apart by Quizzy, and they'll see Avangar in third with 12 kills.
Good game. Really good game. You can see Gamerlegion only 3 kills so far. Could become a 6-kill game for them should they be able to get home the win. Quizzy does go down. 2 players left alive. Gamerlegion, you should have this one in your hands.
Hamster spamming away, spraying out the shots through the smoke. He wants to deliver some damage, and he's just trying to keep them at bay. He wants to ensure the dominance is shown towards Northern Lights, who are our current #1 team. But they've had 13 kills, which is impressive on its own. Bjorn, he spots himself out, but that nade comes in, and the deep can't stand strong. Okay, bro, all on his own, and they're just going to eliminate themselves. They're not giving Gamerlegion any extra kills. They're just going to sit and wait for this all to go down, and that's exactly what happens. And the win goes to Gamerlegion with 5 kills.
It's a good game for them for sure. 10 points for the win and 5 kills too. But don't give it to both Avangar and Northern Lights, because they were fighting, and then fighting some more, and they both got to that end game with respectively 3 guys alive on both sides.